Welcome everyone to the Business Continuity in Australia webinar focusing on mobile water services, improving security, reliability of treated water supply for production resilience with mobile water services. On the line with me today, so I look after marketing and communications in Australia. My name is Anthony Mellis, but with me today I have Damon Good, who is our mobile water services business development manager for Australia and New Zealand. So he is on the line and will be presenting. And then we also have our Asia Pacific mobile water services leader from logging in from KL in Malaysia, so which is pretty exciting. Damon's logging in from Sydney and I'm logging in from Melbourne, so it shows that we're covering Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, which is exciting. So the next stage is for me to hand over. So I'll hand over to Florent, who will take you through the agenda, and we'll go from there. And then we'll wish you all the best, and we'll talk to you shortly. Thank you, Florent.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Florent Puivet, as mentioned by Anthony, based in KL. Let me go through the agenda of this webinar today. First of all, we'll try to understand what is business continuity, trying to examine also the potential impact of a downtime, of a plant failure, or any water requirement changes. Also understanding also what we can offer as a solution with the flexible temporary water treatment and what we call mobile water services. Our few experience and some case studies in terms of support for emergencies, for planned downtime or potentially longer term services. And finally, let's say a revision and a resume of what we do in mobile water services and how we can help you to avoid downtime, but also to support you for maintenances or longer term rentals. What is business continuity? We're going to go through that definition right now. I think what is important for all of us to understand, if you can go to the next slide, Anthony, is that the job of an industrial is to manufacture his products. The job of an industrial is to make sure that within the operation everything is going well. And our job in Veolia Water Technology is to treat water, to make sure that in your site, if it's a fixed plant or a temporary plant, that you always have water available, treated at the quality that you need. So in a context of an industrial or a manufacturing industry, business continuity is key. Any day lost is a huge amount of money lost, so time is money for all of you guys, and want to ensure that the product continue to reach and be delivered to your customers, regardless of any internal issue or outside external issue from the macro and the micro that can arise to your plant. You, as an industrial company, needs to identify the critical value of adding activity and processes, adding, for example, a new line or having potentially weather issues on the site. So you want to focus on keeping everything operational and make sure that you have a set time frame to continue your production regardless of any issue on site. So for us, a business continuity management plan, which is actually a definition of one of the services we have called React, will help company like you to protect yourself, what we call having a peace of mind 24/7, reduce the likelihood of any issue on the site, so anticipation is key, prepare, respond, and recover as soon as possible from any incident that might occur in your plant, in your factory, in your R&D, in your laboratory, etc. So what could be the issues that you might have on site? Most of you have process water treatment plants on site with reverse osmosis, with softeners, with demin plants, for example. And it can happen having a failure, a clogging, a breakdown, a leaking of your water treatment plant, which actually happened to one of our customers last week in Malaysia here, and we were able to support them within a day, a leak of their RO system. You might have boiler or condenser leaks. That's also our job to support you in that case. You know that flooding are more and more important. Some years, a few years ago, massive flooding in Australia, but also water scarcity might also happen. So severe weather conditions are happening more and more often. How can we solve that issue? Changes in water treatment demands or in treated water demands, meaning that the government might ask you to have cleaner reuse water, for example, or the government might give you water that has a little bit more conductivity. So you might have those let's say external needs or external demands due to changes in water quality. And potentially in a few months, you would like to keep your production while doing a refurbishment, while doing a preventive maintenance, or potentially, as mentioned before, an expansion of your production. So preventive maintenance and refurbishment project is also we plan also with our customers. The issues that can happen if we don't have a solution right now. First of all, you can lose production, and you know how much it costs. Manufacturing plant can lose up to 1 to 3 million euro of one day non-producing. So that might be a massive issue. And you know the cost of inconvenience of a total plant shutdown, and to restart the plant costs also a lot of money. Massive negative impact on your supply chain, not only on your customers, but on the stocking of your suppliers. Inability to meet the customer service commitments. So that's also not good B2C or B2B wise. And a loss of reputation in the market. And Veolia also, we want to make sure that our brand is always at the top. So the goal of mobile water service is not to completely eliminate the risk, but I think the key word here is to anticipate and to have a 24/7, 365 days a year, complete peace of mind. You will have our resource in place to minimize the downtimes and for sure maximize all the uptimes if anything happens or the worst happens. So we have a little poll to make you participate right now. Do you have any upcoming scheduled maintenance plan for your process water system, for example, for your DI plant, for your resin demineralization plant, for your demineralization plant, for your RO plant, softening plant? Maybe we can go through the poll, Anthony, and just after that, I will leave the results to the post to my colleague in Australia, Damon Good.
Thank you, Florent, and good morning, everybody. Yes, look, we just I just want to touch on temporary water treatment and what we class it as. A temporary water treatment system may be developed to either provide full or partial replacement of the various processes you have during this interim need, as Florent touched on earlier. So it's not just an emergency service. It is cost effective for a temporary or increased water requirements as a planned or potentially a more long-term temporary solution, where you want to extend the life of the plant, preventive maintenance and refurbishment, whether you want to do full flow trials, if there's changes in the feed water, if there's changes in demand, or there's production or site expansion. So here, when you need a reliable and secure treated water, we offer trailer, skid-mounted or containerized mobile water treatment systems. We have a wide range of traditional and new water treatment technologies. We also do obviously pre-engineered for ease of use and rapid delivery. That they are plug and play operation with minimal infrastructure requirements, and also available as standard or modular systems. And these are the three categories we typically operate under: emergency, planned, and multi-year. So I'll just talk about some of our recent applications or case studies. So our first one is dewatering during extreme weather to ensure EPA compliance. This was an Australian and international client which operates a number of conventional open pit gold mine, producing large amounts of gold for the global market. The client's based in northern Queensland and is one of the key gold producing plants in the market. The client required dewatering via enhanced evaporation or reuse water. They have trialed virtual curtain technology in the past, which successfully removed some of the heavy metals, but did not remove the sulfate or the TDS. On this occasion, Mobile Water Services provided a mobile 4x25 trailer unit, which you will see in the photo to the right. We also supplied a 3x60 bag filter unit to protect the front end of the RO unit, and a mobile CIP unit for this project to meet the EPA compliance obligations and to dewater the pit for the continued mining operations. Some of those key benefits was the rapid deployment of the RO unit, and we had that on site within 48 hours on the request of the client. This unit has the capacity to treat large volumes of water from a single trailer unit. That's around 100 cubes an hour. And of course, that assisted the company with improvements in their water management practices and to be more sustainable. The second one was pre-treatment of raw dam water to combat some recent flooding events. Our client is one of the largest water industry companies in Australia, supplying water, wastewater, recycled water, and some stormwater services to millions of people every day. The client required pre-treatment of water at one of its major dams due to recent weather events impacting the potential drinking water downstream. The dam supplies approximately 5 million customers every day, and the filtration plant had a very high risk of failing to meet those required water standards. As a result, Mobile Water Services provided an active flow turbo and a pump skid unit. Now, the active flow unit is a compact process for high rate clarification that was developed and patented by Veolia Water Technologies. The specificity of the active flow resides in the use of microsand, which acts as a ballast for the flocculated matter and accelerates its settling. Typically, active flow treats surface water, groundwater, seawater, and brackish water. It's particularly effective in eliminating turbidity and natural organic matter, colour, and algae. We've probably got around over 1,000 references around the world, and it's been used for municipal and industrial water and wastewater treatment for more than 25 years. Some of the major advantages: operational stability, no impact on treatment efficiency during sudden flow or raw water quality fluctuations. It offers exceptional treatment performance regardless of the field of application. Operational flexibility, possibility of frequent shutdowns and restarts without affecting the treated water quality. And the process, of course, can be adapted and integrated into all treatment schemes that require a clarification step. Some of the benefits on this project were obviously having a 6-month pre-trial with the Mini Actiflow. We do have an existing relationship with this customer, and yeah, it's a very good example of the Actiflow technology. This one was a treatment of PFAS chemicals discharge from another flooding event. The client, a military airport operation base with extensive water runoff and discharge into the local area, which had in the past had some serious flooding issues. Basically, real extreme weather events. I think everybody's aware of the weather events that have happened in Australia, and the client really required our assistance to provide a treatment plan and obviously provide treatment of the PFAS chemicals which were in the groundwater before that discharge. Mobile Water Services provided provided another Actiflow unit with a MOFI ultrafiltration unit, and the balance of the plant was by the operations and maintenance team. That was media units as well. As you'll see in the photo on the right, some of the benefits is that they are modular and easily removable. We had a flood warning. We had to get that unit off site within 12 hours. So as you can see, they're pretty adaptable and easy to move. Very cost effective and rapid solution. And of course, short lead times with these units.
I will take over on some of the Southeast Asia case studies we've done over the last few months and years. One of them is on a petrochemical company that you all very well know from the US, actually. One of the largest trading international gas companies, supporting mostly for derivative products of oil and gas. This site was based actually in Singapore, is based in Singapore, It's one of the client's largest ethylene plant in Southeast Asia, and extremely modern. But actually, their process water plant was not that modern at the time. So the client required demineralized as water to make up for some extra demand they had over multiple years, and they didn't have time to stop the plant and build a fixed plant. So with our team in MWS, in Mobile Water Services, we provided multiple MODIs, so Mobile Deionization System. MO is for mobile, DI is for deionization. The trailers that we have, the T is for trailer, the trailer 15,000 that we have is to provide demin water with a certain very low conductivity to the customer. And so we're able to provide this ethylene plant with a complete volume of water that they need, around 280 cubic meter per hour of demineralized water. For sure, for them to make sure that they can respond, as we mentioned before, that respond to their customers, to make sure that they don't have any disruption in their supply chain. And as they could not afford for shutdown of the plant or repair of the plant or either building a new plant. So the customer is not one time asked us actually to come on the site 6 times. Maybe later they decided to build a fixed plant. It was a reliable and cost-effective solution for their projects to come on their site. And actually, one of the times they asked us to come on a Sunday morning, so we came here. And the fact that we are available 24/7, with you will see at the end a phone number where we are easy to be reached, is very important for the customer that they can call us at any time. Another company actually is a food and beverage company in China. It's a just to give you a hint, they're making starches, they're making sugar products, agricultural raw materials, etc. They are from Belgium actually, and they have a very large plant in China, in the south of China. The client needed some processed water, some clean water for the washing process, and some hot water for high pressure water. On some of their process, they are using this high pressure water on the production processes. First, they registered for a REACT. I will explain to you what is the REACT just after, but basically it's the definition of this webinar, which is a business continuity management. So the REACT helps us to anticipate. And they contacted our Chinese mobile team that is fully available to you also in China in case you have one of your sites in China. And they needed an emergency support to have demineralized water on their site to fill up the tank because today they had a leak on an heat exchanger. So the team within 3 days was developed on site. We mobilized the equipment and we set up again a mobile deionization system, but not only. The goal there was to reload the tank, to fill up the tank again with the required quality of demineralized water used by the MOD, but also with some pre-treatment. So we provided an EDI, so electrical deionization system, who gave a water which is below 2 microsiemensis conductivity for 20 cubic meter per hour. Then we had a MODI 9000 mobile deionization for 80 cubic meter per hour. And also with MORO 16, so MORO is mobile reverse osmosis. And we also have some mobile pumps. Actually, just last week, a company here in Malaysia, due to heavy rains, asked us to come on site and provide mobile pumps to take out the water from the site. So we can also provide mobile pumps to your site. Very big benefits to the customer in terms of not having any production disruption or losses. As I mentioned before, very reliable and quick solution. So when the customer know that Veolia has such solution, they really sometimes rely a lot on that and say, no problem, we have Veolia anytime we want their trucks. The tank was clean and filled up with the required quality demand. And what was very important for them is to have clean water in the boilers and no impurity in the demin water from the boilers, because as you know, if your water in the boiler is not clean enough, you might have some corrosion, very high chloride, and some massive issue creating leaks in the boilers. Last case study for today is a chemical company based here next to me, actually in Malaysia. It's a service chemical company who is helping customers located inside a chemical park. The range of that company, so they do all the kind of material, energy supply, environmental management. It's a little bit like an EPC company for chemicals and HPI and CPI. The different individual plants in the chemical park were supplied with demineralized water. and all had the same quality in order for them to have an energy supply and to support also the water coming from going also to a power plant. The problem was the raw water filtration was not good enough, and it led to considerable issues in the production of deionized water quality. So it might have an impact also for you. Some of you who take some water from rivers or some water from lakes, depend on the climate, also depends on some industrial around you, that incoming water to your plant might change. Actually, I was in Singapore the other day, and they have different kind of water, and one of their water called new water coming to their plant was having a little bit higher conductivity than usual, and this lasted for a couple of months. So the customer also asked us some support because they could not have an additional fixed plant on the site. So your water on the site might change, and if that's the case, your incoming water changes, you might need a temporary water treatment plant. So Veolia mobilized assets and engineers to treat actually 222 cubic meter per hour of demineralized water quality according to the guidelines of the local authorities here in Malaysia, to guarantee the production cycle without interruption, and we service it for 3 months. What is very important for you to understand is with a fixed plant or with our mobile, we use the same kind of contracts with the same kind of quality and quantity of water that we guarantee to the customer. The production of deionized water and demineralized water was 24 hours on continuous operation. And we had a customer happy to be for us to be on site within 3 days. So it was really avoiding any production disruption longer than expected. So I hope that it gives you a hint of what is mobile water services. I'll let you go to the next slide. Yes, so mobile water services, as mentioned by Damon just before, we have three main support. Three main services or three main offers as you want to define it. Number one will be the emergency one. So as you could see through the case studies, a lot of customers have immediate issues, a flooding in the site, an issue of leaking, a breakdown of their process water treatment plant, an immediate need of reuse water. So we are able to provide you 24/7 deployment, and we are on the road within 4 hours of your call, meaning that when you have an issue and you call us and we agree on coming to your site, we need 4 hours to be ready, meaning to mobilize our assets, to make sure our demin plants with resins are ready, so the mobile plants are ready, to make sure that our membrane mobile reverse osmosis are ready to go, to make sure that all our trucks and trailers are filled up, ready to go on site with our flexible hose, pumps, manifolds, etc. So from the call, 4 hours. Making sure we don't forget anything to provide you the quality and the quantity of water that you need. Fully ISO, especially with the REACT that I will mention just after in terms of treated water security plant or business continuity anticipation plan, and priority service for ready to go access. So if you have a REACT with us, you will have a priority on our assets. Actually, a few very big oil and gas companies have globally, so when they ask us for support, they have it immediately. So for emergency, it's we can support, as I mentioned before, for temporary water treatment plant failure, changes in water, leaking, or environmental compliance and increased demand. On the next slide, I can explain to you what is a REACT. A REACT, as mentioned before, is a business continuity plan to make sure that we have water security and anticipation on any issue on your site. So as a customer, you will come to us and say, I might encounter that issue, or I have already encountered that issue, and I don't want this to happen again. Or if it happens, I have something to cover me, and that's why you call Veolia. So we will come to your site because it's free, first of all, for you. We'll come to your site with an engineer for half a day or full day, figure out where will be the incoming water coming from if you have a problem or an issue, where can we plug, how far, so we can have the right amount of flexible hose, where can we have our assets, trailers or containers based on site, but also what is the pressure of the water you will give us, the electricity requirements. So all of that will be taken care, and we will be ready to go when we have your next call. So for us, it's a 24/7 protection, and for you also, for your facility, against the water treatment plant downtime. As I mentioned at the start of this call, of this webinar, your job is to manufacture your product. Our job is to make sure you have the water to manufacture your product. Priority access, ready to go to mobile. So if you do React with us, we will always have you as a priority of to get our assets on your site. So rapid response, as I mentioned before, 4 hours from you. Reliable, we have a track record, we have references all over the world, so feel free to ask for that. Cost effective, we do believe that we are saving a lot of money to those customers who are not producing for one day or are scared not to produce for one day. The high quality services, and we also provide training to some local people if they don't want or don't need one of our operators on site, and priority services as mentioned before. On the next slide, you can see a little bit how the React looks like. So it's a 6 to 7 page audit. The registration is free. We fulfill all the ISO requirements, so feel free to ask for this treated water security plan. We'll be happy to provide you a little bit more information after this webinar if you have some. So this was the emergency. We need you right now. Veolia, come on the side right now. Then we have some customer who say, you know, today we are in November, in March, I'm planning to have an expansion of my production. Or actually one of our customers here in Thailand right now is trying a new product. They want to see the manufacturing that new product on the market and if the customers will buy. So in the meantime, instead of having a fixed plan, they just want to have a temporary plan. Or some customers just simply wants to renovate or refurbish their demin plant or their reverse osmosis plant. So these plans are cost effective because the customer can really rely on us at the time of their need, and we can plan in advance to make sure we are there the first day of their need and we leave the last day of their need. So it can be from 1 day to 1 year. So after 1 year, it will call multi-year, and I will talk about it just after. Continuity of supply, so you will always have the water you need during the maintenance, the refurbishment, or the exact need that you have. Same about the quality and the quantity. Always having the right for you, the right quality and quantity on the volume and specification with the guarantee that I mentioned before, sorry. And being flexible and adaptable to the customer, meaning the customer sometimes need us for 1 more week, for 1 week less. They need a different water quality, or simply they didn't have the right water quality at the start to give us. So we can be flexible and maybe add let's say an equipment on site, or mobilize another equipment, or remove an equipment if needed. And in terms of service excellence, for those who have worked with Veolia, they know how dedicated we are to our customers in that case. And then on the 26th will be the multi-year. On the multi-year, we had this question is, why would you buy when you can rent equipment? Especially with the COVID period past, a lot of CapEx have been reduced also. Investment have been reduced. So some customers are relying a lot on us on mobile because they have this operation cost that has no as much impact as the capex cost, I would say. So agreement can go up to 7 years, so we can make you quotations for about 7 years maximum. Service excellence, as mentioned before, the production cycle. So you might have 3 shifts, different additional shifts that you want to add to your production. We cover the time period of LCT of the cycles also. You might have higher production in some month, lower production in other months. So we're here to support on that. Flexible size, I mentioned before. So we are open on that, and we are very flexible on giving you something at the start, and with the customer realizing that we need to decrease or increase the production capacity. Same performance on quality and on quantity. Financially is ideal, as I mentioned before, if the capex budget are reduced. We always give you a fixed price for budgeting, so you can have a really, I would say, a vision of what will cost in the future. And it reduces your capex as it is an OPEX, and it's very small in terms of infrastructure. Hands off, we take care about everything. So from the moment you give us the water at some point, you get it at an outlet somewhere, and we're happy to handle the whole process of it. Savings, it saves a lot of money to some customers not to have a fixed plan on site, not to have civil works on sites, to have a mobile or temporary water treatment plant. And reliability, we talked about that. So in terms of the fleet that we have today, and Damon, if you want to go through this 27 as you want to close, I'll let you finish on that.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Florent. Yeah, look, we have a range of obviously different technologies. It obviously always depends on what we have in the fleet at the time, but yeah, we can offer a very broad range of different treatment systems. That's for sure. So just to summarise, look, mobile water services, our aim is really to be the provider of choice with the mobile solution, with our backup, obviously reliable, secure support with the mobile fleet agreements. We offer the latest technologies, quality and quantity, obviously treated water of the required volume and quality. VWT's got an excellent health and safety record. We offer pay-as-you-go, so that obviously gives you that flexibility to shift costs from CapEx to operational budgets. Service excellent, full technical and operational support throughout the agreement. And finally, the spares and consumables. Look, there's no spares or consumables management. We handle everything from the membranes to the filters to Hydrex chemicals. It can all be handled by mobile water services. So if anybody has any questions, we're happy to take some questions and answers if anybody has any.
Well, we have the poll results, so roughly around 25 to 30 people logged into the presentation, which is great. So that's good for us. Of that, there was around 6 or 7 people that said they required the services that we offer. So it shows you that it's a demand-driven product, but there's a lot of people that require assistance with this service that we're offering. So that's a good thing. It shows the market is in requiring the product. In addition, there was a couple of questions that I'll put to yourself, Damon and Florent. A lot of the questions, because Australia is so expansive, is how do you support regional areas, and what is the service network like if we need help? Like, what would your answer to that be?
Yeah, look, thanks, Anthony. Look, we have units around the country. We have a fairly large fleet, and we're always adding to that fleet as well. So we've got continuously having new units on order. We actually put in an order for yesterday for a couple more trailerized units. But yeah, look, we've got support and operational staff around the country from WA to far north Queensland. Yeah, with full service capabilities there.
That's good. It's very good. The next question was, and this can be also to both Damon and Florent, is for Australia, who do we talk to? Is there one point of contact, and is it the same for Southeast Asia and China? Like, Veolia is a really big company, and sometimes you just want to deal with one person, but how does that work for you guys? Like, I'll probably start with Damon first.
Yeah, look, for Australia and New Zealand, certainly you can contact me directly. There is the mobile water email there. You can also phone me. Look, my phone's on most of the time, so yeah, always happy to take calls and happy for any inquiry. If we can't obviously service the client, we can always pass it on to the broader Veolia group. We have a lot of capabilities within the group, so yeah, if it's not us, we can certainly feed you in the right direction.
Perfect. And you, Florent, may as well answer for Southeast Asia and China in regards to capacity and network. If they need to call someone, like, how does that work?
We have a team in Shanghai with actually a regeneration plant in Shanghai also. So we have a team there supporting, I would say, 600 kilometers from Shanghai within a day, and then a little bit further, as you know, as big as can be China. So we have a team in Shanghai. You can always liaise to me in case you have a need for mobile water treatment plant or anything else. Can be, Veolia is a large company, as you mentioned before. So for waste management, wind energy management, and for sure water treatment technologies, you can reach me for that. And here in Southeast Asia, our HQ is in Malaysia. We have a team in Singapore. We have a team over the 12 countries of Southeast Asia. And our main based area is Penang, so northwest of Malaysia, where we have a regeneration plant there, and we also have a.
You dropped out, Florent.
Yeah, feel free to reach me if you have a demand. Yeah, my internet is not very good, I think, this morning, so in the office.
That's okay.
Okay, so you can reach me for Southeast Asia also.
I think, yeah, like from me, unless there's anything else from you guys, Damon or Florent, you wanted to add?
No,
No, good. Thanks for everybody's time.
So to wrap up the presentation, we'll send out a survey, as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, and we'll share this presentation with you for you to view it later, because a lot of your colleagues or others may not be able to attend. So we'll share it with your network to share, and we'll be in contact with each of you to follow up should you have any further needs. But that's all I have. But thank you, Damon and Florent, for your presenting skills, and yeah, hopefully everyone has a great day.
Thanks, guys.
bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.